Now, earlier on today, we did an interview with two gentlemen from the United Arab Emirates, and we were amazed to learn that there is an agreement, a contract signed between Suidwes and the United Arab Emirates. And we were also amazed to hear that there are many South African farmers up there at the moment. Just fill us in with this particular project.
Okay, Tony, basically it was by coincidence that we stumbled across this project, if I can call it that. The guy from Floppy Sprinkler, which is an irrigation system, he approached us, Johan Himstra, he approached us and said that they were in need of agricultural expertise for a project in Sudan. And after he told us about the project, we thought that, this guy was smoking something. So we went there ourselves, and the magnitude in which I'll elaborate a little bit on later, was immense. And so we immediately, was very interested when we got there. This is now Sudan, where this actual project is. And then the one thing, followed on to the next. We went to Abu Dhabi. This is an Abu Dhabi-based company, which is the investors into Sudan, North Sudan. We negotiated with them to sell our IP expertise, agricultural expertise to them. We reached an agreement, and then we started advising this agricultural project. Now, the project itself is in North Sudan. It's basically slam bang in the middle of the Sahara Desert, believe it or not, where they have what they call at this stage a pilot project of about 12,500 hectares of irrigation. Different crops that they cultivate, which they started with alfalfa or lucerne, as we know it. And then they also intend to do a few other crops. Last but not least, maize. We will definitely experiment with later. And this was basically a year ago when all of this started. We then went there, sent 12 of our people across. And initially, I thought these guys will stay there for 2 weeks and come back. There's very hard conditions to live under. For instance, no women, no alcohol in that country.
Oh, what a hardship!
It's against the law, believe it or not. Not the women's side, but the alcohol thing. But it was such a magnitude, this project, and the opportunity for these guys to be involved there was so great. They've been there for a year now. They live about 340 kilometers north of Khartoum, which is the capital of North Sudan. Now, North Sudan, unfortunately, is one of those countries with a huge embargo on them. The United States has got an embargo.
I was about to, and again I'm going to interrupt, there's a war-torn north-south situation going on. Is that affecting you in any way?
No, not at all. Not at all. The only problem is you're not allowed to use Visa or MasterCards, for instance, in Sudan. There's a lot of stuff that you hasn't got access to because of the fact that there's an embargo. But the United Emirates obviously is open to them. And Janan, which are the investors, they do all the logistics and all the infrastructure and everything else. So we're not involved in there. So we make no physical contribution in terms of or monetary contribution in terms of the project. So there's very little risk for us involved. Why are these guys doing it? Why are the Emirates involved? They are importing, as we speak, they are importing lots of alfalfa or lucerne from California and the USA, and this is basically for the requirement for feeding the milk cows and feedlots in the United Emirates. And as you can imagine, it's hugely expensive. The transportation, the volume weight ratio is not conducive for that. So hence they've decided to start becoming self-sufficient. So they have literally a long-term view, and a long-term view in a Middle East, very similar to the Far East, is 100 years. And then that's why they've got a vision over 50 to 100 years of where this project is going. And it's a privilege for us as South Africans to be involved in a noble cause, which they are busy with, supplying people with food at the end of the day and becoming self-sufficient.